Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Aviation. And today we have a really special video. I'll be flying Lufthansa to Frankfurt out of Chicago O'Hare in economy class. This will be a great opportunity to check out Lufthansa's 5-star service. So without further ado, let's head on in. At Chicago O'Hare, Lufthansa operates out of both Terminal 1 and Terminal 2, with Terminal 1 hosting Lufthansa's departures. This makes it easier for any connecting United passengers to make their Star Alliance flight to Europe. With Terminal B also being a United terminal, any Lufthansa passenger has access to the United Club Lounge. Any flyer with a ticket on a Star Alliance airline is also allowed to visit the United Club Lounge. If you decide to wait at the gate instead of in the lounge for your flight, United does provide a seating area with outlets. Since this was my first international flight, I felt the need to celebrate and decided to buy a one-day pass at the lounge for $60. After a quick trip down the escalator, the first thing I noticed was the buffet along the wall. Now, this being a lounge for a US airline, I didn't have the highest expectations, but I must say I was very content with the options that United provided. Besides food, the lounge also has a full bar, a flight time display, and great views of the apron. I decided to settle for a Coca-Cola, a salad, and some Chinese pepper steak. And I have to say, it wasn't half bad. The food was good, but the lounge was pretty small and I was starting to get cooped up, so I felt the need to walk around. But for those who do wish to stay in the lounge has plenty of chairs with lots of tabletops and outlets, so there's plenty of resources to get lots of work done. I decided I didn't want to stay too long, and the ladies up front, who were very nice, said that you were allowed to come back to the lounge and that they'll remember you, or you can look up by your day pass. So we're gonna go look around and explore more of Chicago O'Hare. The one, I guess I can't say bad thing about walking around Chicago O'Hare is that they literally have McDonald's every 5 feet, and eventually the advertising just got to me and I had to go get some chicken nuggets. After my snack, I walked back to Concourse B and noticed that it had become completely dark outside, which is no surprise, and that it started raining. I started to think that my video would be ruined, but then I saw the beautiful Queen of the Skies standing outside our gate and all that pain went away. And here is our aircraft, a Boeing 747-800 Queen of the Skies, registered as Delta Alpha Bravo Yankee uniform. Its first flight was in March 2015 and is configured with 364 seats, 8 in first, 80 business, 32 economy plus, and 244 in economy. There wasn't much time for me to wait, and soon we were boarding. Lufthansa boards its long-haul aircraft from back to front. Depending on what row you're in is the line you get in while you wait to board. Now, the further you are up front, the later you will board. With that system, I inevitably had to board last, as my seat was row 18. It's almost ready to go. We're so close.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Enjoy your flight.
Thank you.
Make a lot of people.
Yeah. No, I'm just walking down the... As soon as I stepped in, the first thing I noticed was the heat. Now, Lufthansa really likes to keep their cabins at around 22 degrees Celsius or about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and if you're wearing winter clothing, you're probably not going to be very comfortable. Regardless, I thought it was really cool to be stepping on a wide-body aircraft with a 343 configuration, having 2 aisles. Now let's check out the seat. For Lufthansa's long-haul travel, they provide every passenger in economy with a pillow and a blanket. Every seat is also designed with a special fabric flap on the headrest which moves up and down. The seat fabric, I have to say, was really nice. It wasn't the cheap leather stuff that many airlines have, and it felt nice to sit in. Another thing that Lufthansa impressed me by was their legroom. I had never seen so much room given to economy class passengers before. Of course, you have your in-flight entertainment system. This tray table here was very new to me. I had never seen a tray table like this before where it folded out twice, but it looks very compact and efficient, so good for them. I also like the cute little cup holder thing that comes with it. Besides the flight safety information card, Lufthansa has its own magazine in English and German. It's full of a bunch of things like shopping and safety and about the airline, and just tries to get you to buy things. Thankfully, Lufthansa does provide a battery outlet below your seat, just in case you don't want to read the magazine. I was also really surprised that there was no AC knobs, so I couldn't do my gag of Comet AC. You do still have a lamp, however, as all the controls are on your seat armrest, alongside other controls for the IFE. And of course, there's the place where you plug in your headsets. Overall, the seat looks really amazing. It's very comfortable, and I was really more than happy to sit there for 8 hours. During our pushback, safety announcements were both made in English and German. The cabin lights were also turned into an orangish-yellowish mood as to get passengers tired for the overnight flight. Now after that stunningly beautiful departure out of Chicago, it's time to check out the IFE. Lufthansa offers many different kinds of movies, TV, audiobooks, podcasts, music, games, relaxation techniques, food and beverage options, and even more. There was honestly so many options that I couldn't cycle through every single one of them because then that would make this video way too long. I'll sum it up this way: Lufthansa's got something for everyone. I will admit, however, the screen wasn't too responsive, but it was responsive enough for me not to complain. And it really didn't affect the processing of the entertainment. As I was browsing through, the cabin lights were brightened and the flight attendants began their pre-dinner service. The first thing that was passed around was saltine crackers. It tasted pretty much just like a Ritz cracker, but better. After serving crackers, the flight attendants came around and asked us what we wanted to drink. I just opted for a water for now, as I didn't want to eat too many calories before dinner. The next thing that we got was hot towels. I thought that this was really nice because I had never seen anything like this before, and it felt really refreshing. Finally, after all those goodies, the flight attendants took our meal orders and dinner was served. Out of the meat or pasta option, I chose the meat option, which came with beef stew, cheesy grits, and green beans. Alongside everyone's main course came cheese and crackers, salad and dressing, a piece of cake, and a bread roll, plus plastic silverware. Even though I had never eaten a hot meal on an airplane before, I have to say this food actually tasted really good. Lufthansa really does put a lot of effort into their economy class meals. Trust me, the food tastes a lot better than it looks. Presentation isn't exactly the #1 priority in economy. My favorite part of the meal by far was the piece of vanilla cake. It was really sweet and savory, and very enjoyable. Overall, I give this meal a 10 out of 10. It was a solid economy class meal, and I really did enjoy eating it. After a good meal, it was time to sit back, relax, watch some movies, and play some games. My first movie of choice was Cold Pursuit because, you know, Liam Neeson. Next, I decided to try out a game. I chose chess because I do like playing chess, but the computer was actually really hard and beat me very easily. Or I'm just not that good at the game. I'll let you guys decide. After deciding I was a failure at games, I went back to movies. I actually didn't get to see How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World in theaters, so I was glad to see it on Lufthansa's movie list. Just goes to show, as I've mentioned before, how up-to-date Lufthansa is with their movies. Alright, now time to see the bathrooms. The bathrooms on the 747 are located in the middle of the plane to make room for more seats. The economy bathrooms themselves are pretty standard. They have just about everything you'd need to, do your business. And a diaper station. Right when I got back to my seat, the flight attendants came around again and offered a choice of water or mango juice. And as I sipped on my mango juice, I started my third movie, Smallfoot, another movie I didn't get to see in theaters. A couple hours later, the cabin lights were brightened to simulate morning, and the flight attendants started their breakfast service. While I was waiting for breakfast, I took the opportunity to check out the in-flight Wi-Fi. Now, the Wi-Fi costs money, as you can buy a 1-hour pass or a pass just for the flight. Now, I didn't bother using it because I don't have any money, but the connection was strong. So eventually, breakfast in our section started as the flight attendants passed around hot towels and then water. They later came back and asked if we wanted a muffin and a fruit cup, which was the only breakfast option. So if you didn't like either of those, you were on your own. Obviously, this breakfast isn't as fancy as what the business class passengers probably got, but it's a better breakfast than I've ever had on any other flight. One thing I forgot to mention about the seat was the reclinability. The seat reclines to, I'd say, about an angle of 15 degrees. I never used this feature as I didn't want to disturb the passenger behind me, but I can't say the same for the person in front of my seatmate. Overall, at the end of the day, I really enjoyed this flight. I was so ecstatic and excited to fly the second I stepped on board the 747 Queen of the Skies. I'll admit, when I booked this flight on Lufthansa, I had some expectations, and all of them were met. The crew was very friendly, the food was delicious, and the entertainment was exquisite. But you know what was even better? The deal I got on the price. I did book this flight on Lufthansa, but I booked it through the United Airlines website. This came to a price of $921 one way, saving me at least a couple $1,000s if I would have booked on Lufthansa's official site. But no matter how much the ticket cost, I'm really glad to have shared my first international flight experience with Lufthansa. I hope that by watching this video, any viewer has a better understanding of Lufthansa's long-haul economy class. And for all the av geeks out there like me, let's have a thumbs up for the Queen of the Skies. But with that, I will end the video here. Join me next week as I continue onward with my journey to Stockholm. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't like it, go ahead and give it a dislike. And if you're new, be sure to subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day, everyone.